Hey there. I am warning you a bit that this is more of a stream of consciousness than it is an actual planned out video and this and that. If you guys have known me and have been following me forever, you'll know that I came from like the roots of old internet, like just the beginning of new media. So, you have like internet television. We had Tech TV, which is an actual broadcast television network, went to G4, and then they became part of Revision 3, which was like just on the cusp of like new media. But it was still like owned by Discovery Digital Networks, and it was okay because if I was to make content, yes, they essentially owned me, but they knew what my content was going to be coming out before, it actually came out. And that was fine. That was kind of like a working relationship because everyone really kind of knew what I was offering and what they were offering, and it was consensual. And then YouTube really hit the scene and creators became creators and influencers. And like I remember when Chris Pirillo like rolled up on YouTube and showed us his like Japanese candy in a, tiny little 360p or something at the time window, and it was 15 seconds and that was it. That was like a Vine or a TikTok that before it was cool. And that was awesome. There was no even real way of making money on YouTube. It wasn't even a business model, and that was awesome for creators, but unfortunate, I think, for the companies themselves. And now fast forward, 10 years, and I'm essentially crippled feeling. I feel crippled, and I have just tons of anxiety to think about even really putting any of my stuff out there to the world, because I know that it's beholden to the expectations of this company, and those expectations invariably do not align with my own morals and values, right? So I started putting videos out on YouTube, and it was great. We were sharing advertiser money, and then before you know it, the advertisers had this kind of like unspoken thing that they felt was advertiser friendly or not. And then before you know it, you had the adpocalypse on YouTube. And that's when people just kind of started to modify their content, started to censor how they would speak in order to be able to monetize their videos. And that was just like the very tip of the iceberg. And now it's so bad on YouTube where there's these whole Reddit threads that like theorize different words that you can or cannot say for fear of being like shadow banned. So if I wanted to say, "Hey, did you watch that show How to Catch a Predator?" I would have to go, "Hey, did you watch that show How to Catch a Beep?" And so before you know it, you probably have seen this on YouTube already, like entire videos where whole sentences are bleeped out because these creators are essentially afraid of the platform that they're choosing to put their content up to like demonetize them and kill their livelihood. So in a way, I feel pretty under attack, and I haven't wanted to post anything, and I just have all this content that I've made and I'm just sitting on, and I've approached like alternate video distribution platforms like Library and DTube, and they are great in theory and weird in execution. So you guys probably already know this, but I launched Geek Beacon, which initially kind of was lived on the platform called Discord. And Discord was great because it was just like a chat room, and we already had folks that were like kind of getting together from like the IRC days, and then they moved to Slack, and then they moved to Discord. So it was like a natural evolution, and we applied and we became a partner Discord, and we were really proud of it. And we had the weird thing about working for, Tech TV or Revision 3 back in the day is it would be $3,000 or something like per ad spot that we'd charge that we'd charge per sponsored read. And Discord was essentially getting infinite amounts of free promotion from creators for being partnered, because we'd have our nice little Discord vanity URL, and you could come and, talk about geeky stuff and things that tickled your neurotransmitters. And I felt for once that I wasn't really getting censored. And, they had their terms of service, and there's a lot of things that we needed to cut down on. But, you can't, short of just self-hosting everything, which I've definitely thought of, and running a Matrix server and going thousands of dollars a month in debt. And, it's just so strange, because I feel like these companies know that the creators are beholden to them. Like, they need the platform for exposure, and so the things that they can ask of us are astronomical. And that's why when I found out that Discord is now changing all of their, like, they're essentially making old partners recertify. And the best way that I can describe it to you is I feel like a lot of other partners feel just betrayed. It's like, oh my God, not you guys. I understand you're a business and you have to make money, but like, you remember what happened in YouTube when they tried to remove the verification? Communities, you can't be a company that essentially exists because of community. And then when your community, when you get too big for your britches and you're at the top of the mountain and your community has essentially been carrying you there, tell them, okay, thanks. But, now you have impossible to meet expectations and you have to recertify. Oh, and by the way, you might just lose your vanity URL that, in and of itself sounds like a vain thing. But at the same time, years of free promotion, and every podcast and every video has had a immutable discord.gg/geekbeacon whatever link that I can't take back. And so what if bad actors, I lose this new partnership that I have to recertify for, even though I feel like, the loyalty and the patience and the everything that we've given as a community, and frankly, the balls, the gusto that we had to trust that Discord was the right platform, and then have them just say, hey, you can just reapply. It's just, how does it not feel like a slap in the face? And, I don't even know if this video is going to see the light of day. I want to post it because I honestly would love some answers at this point. Like, I feel like we've made these really hard decisions as a community, a small little geeky community that has an entire branch on mental health and specifically for coping with this pandemic, or if I was on YouTube with the beep that is happening right now, helping support these folks. I just don't know why you would then say, hey, thanks for all the support in 5 years, and I'm going to need you to basically reapply, and then in parentheses, you better have a big following, and in parentheses they wrote an absolute massive following or something like that. And it misses the mark so much, and it makes creators not feel comfortable putting their stock in anything. Like, think of what happened with the Mixer debacle. Like, people wanted an alternative to Twitch. They went to Mixer, and the community was incredible. And, Microsoft bought out Mixer, and instead of, playing the long game and putting a little bit of money to small to medium-sized creators, they paid for Ninja's, crazy, contracts, and then they basically ran it into the ground. Like, I don't know if I can trust the companies that run these content distribution platforms that just like, I know that they have to be in it by virtue of being a corporation. They have to be in it for their own financial gain. But how do I not take it as some form of attack? Because now conveniently, we may lose our vanity URL, and we can keep that vanity URL if we pay $150 a month to boost our server on Discord 30 times or something, and then that gives us the ability to have that vanity URL. So I would love for the intrinsic goodness to win. That's one of the reasons I started Geek Beacon, is that, things that we don't talk about and especially at this time, it's excruciating feelings of being alone. And, I'm not asking for all the answers, and I'm not asking for this company, for Discord, kind of like the last hope, to go, hey, we're going to ideally it would be like, we're going to grandfather you in because you were there when we were nothing, and we wouldn't be where we are today without you small to medium creators and communities. But it could at least be, instead of a PR answer, that we're making this change, we're making these requirement of like 20% engagement or retention, and this is expectations because we want to improve the quality of the Discord servers. Spare the PR answer and just have a real conversation with your community that isn't very, very capable of reading between the lines and understanding subtext. You can have a company, you can understand what you're saying, Discord, but what you're doing is different than what you're saying. If you're saying that you value people, then you need to value people. And if you're doing something that shows that you consider them disposable, then maybe you should reevaluate those conversations. I think you'd be surprised to know what these creators and these folks that have literally built their own business 1,000 times over and have put thousands and years of patience and their own volunteer hours into creating a community, you'd be surprised at what they can come up with. So, give your community a chance to let us help you find the solution that will work for all of us. And I guess I still want to drive home the point where if you are a geek, even if you're not a geek, if you feel alone during this insanely uncertain time, you can still go to Geek Beacon Discord and chat about it. We still have events that we run 3 times a week, and no, we don't meet the retention requirements that I really would be very surprised at how many people actually do. I mean, I went to college briefly for, advertising and marketing, and the amount of engagement that they show there is like a fraction of a percent. So to think of having 1 out of every 5 people, and 20% of just folks that are coming back and keep coming back, I want to be a community where they can be gone for months at a time and start having a hard time and feel like they can go back to the community. And with this current solution that Discord is implementing among so many other types of platforms, you're going to stifle that, and you are going to cause the owners of those communities to purge that, to kick that member, those inactive members, and to remove themselves from discovery outlets where they could have their mission be seen, and the very tenets of uniqueness and goodness that you stood for at the beginning, that the creators signed on for and fought for you and gave you free promotion, you would be abandoning with this current model. So hopefully they don't wipe Geek Beacon off of Discord for this. And yeah, I'll talk nerdy to you guys later.